you're given opportunities and promotion, or whether it's from the company or outside the company, how do you determine that, okay, well, actually I have to turn down this promotion or something like that? Because um, obviously there will be quite a few of them.
Okay, so do I need to stand up again? That's good. I like that question because in my personal life I've been faced with many decision point gitu. There were times that there were multiple opportunities, and those are blessing, and I don't know at the time which one was the case. When I mentioned about ExxonMobil, there was actually a case of another company waktu itu Slambersi, also one Slambersi, the service company. I also get similar offer. In fact, I get a better offer than ExxonMobil. And at the time, and they were very persistent. So when I first joined ExxonMobil, they also offer the same offer, and I don't know what to decide. I can only pray, I can only ask people, and that's where you draw, the conclusion is, the Lord will not speak directly to you, but they will use the people for which they are capable of giving you the advice, for which you can seek their advice from. And through the consultation of the people, whether this is a good thing for me to do, to work for ExxonMobil or work for, at the time, Slambersi, I have to pray, I have to ask the right people the question, because both opportunity were blessing to me, but I know that it can be only one, right? I can be only in one time and one place at a time. And that's when I pray, ask the right people, from that guidance, each word, ketika Tuhan berikan kita hikmat, that's where you use that and make a decision. And it was not easy, because the following year, they asked me again. Then now it's even more difficult for me, because now I ada sedikit keraguan waktu itu. Is this the right place? But then when you consult and again, you listen to what people have to say around you, karena I believe the people that God put around you are for good reason. Itu bukan suatu kebetulan that you have your wife, you have your parents, you have your rekan kerja. Those are people around you that Lord can use to give a guide. What we have to do is we have to listen carefully. But hanya listen saja tapi without believe in God, itu juga berbahaya. Because oftentimes when I heard people, they're basically not talking very good things about me. And if I were to believe that, then nothing's good will come out of me. So it's also a balance where you do have to listen to the people, you have to pray, but you have to be able to discern, membedakan gitu. Which one is yang benar, yang mana yang tidak benar sebenarnya. Itu penting gitu. Karena kalau tanpa our ability untuk membedakan itu, dan kita akan gampang sekali jadi bingung gitu, apa harus kita dengarkan sebenarnya. So for me, that was a good decision. At a time when it was presented with multiple opportunity, was actually better. So by human logic, the better one must be the best. And I almost fall for that one too, because I insist, no, I want to do this. But then the people around me tell me, you have to think about it again, long term. You have to be very careful about what you want. And thank God, I believe, after 10 years, this is the right place for me. Yeah. Good.
And have not been able to find a job, and they're usually seeking after God, but they're not finding any results in the natural about finding the job. Do you have any words of encouragement?
Yes, I do. I'm not a miracle man, of course, but the encouragement I would offer is that you may not have a job now, but in return you may have plenty of time, right? So maybe God is trying to tell you during this free time, maybe instead of looking for a job, maybe you can create jobs. There were many times I read in a newspaper, there were people who, when they were being asked, how do you get into this? Well, because I have no job. So instead of me looking around, I try, it didn't happen. I decided to do what I like best doing. And over time, what I do actually turns into something that is profitable. So maybe there's something, a special gift that God gave to you that you should, learn from it. That maybe God is probably trying to say something on the other side. And I believe that even though you may not have job, and for many people it will be very difficult to find job, but they have something more that also they have in return. For example, a free time. Every day is only 24 hours a day. What you use to spend that 24 hours will determine your effectiveness as a person. And it doesn't take, you don't have to have a facility, you don't have to do something to make it happen. In fact, many successful people that I know, they start with nothing. They don't have anything. So the word of encouragement I have, probably God is trying to tell you, and this is actually a great time, because there are plenty of time for you to communicate to God what is it that God really wants. So maybe there's something buried inside that, desperate to get out. Something that positive that you can have. That's my word of encouragement. For my personal belief of having to go through that as well. And that's very dangerous, because it's very easy for us to be down deep in our work and can be very ignorant of our family. And that's where you need hikmat, how to do that. Karena if you don't balance that, then the other part is also missing. Now, typically what I do with that, if I have too much work, I'll just bring the work home. So I do the work from home. So while my family is watching or I address their need, I'm with them. And at the same time, when maybe they're tired or something, they go to sleep, then I can continue with my work. So it's a very fine balance. It's something that I spend lots of times, that's correct, but at the same time I try to make it up with them. And there are times of the year that we dedicated for family get together, basically. That's to make sure that over time this thing doesn't go away because you're too busy with your work. So it is very important to balance that between work and life, because there's a family being involved. It's easy to get focused in our work and forget the family. But if you remember about the family, balance that, kita harus cerdik juga kan, mencari waktu, mencari kesempatan, dan you can actually have, karena apapun Tuhan sudah berikan buat kita, we can actually use it to optimize that. Jadi waktu yang ada, waktu free time yang mungkin hanya kita pakai buat nonton, then you can actually use to do work. Your family is there, listen to the movies, then that's okay. Then you do your work. That's okay too. It requires special skill because it's very easy to get distracted. But if you're disciplined about it, you can actually do it. You can still work and enjoy. Okay.
Pernah nggak Pak Bradley dikasih satu tugas yang rasanya Pak Bradley nggak suka sama sekali tugas itu? Nggak suka, saya benar-benar nggak suka kerjaannya gitu. Nah, kalau dalam situasi seperti itu, bagaimana kita masih bisa untuk give our best gitu, dalam situasi itu?
Yep, that's good. That's actually part of the kesaksian yang tadi. I try to avoid sebenarnya, karena I was given that job, an assignment that's very, very difficult, something that I don't like. And that's actually related to the regulatory body, where I have to represent our company to tell something that is basically the opposite of what the government wants to say. It's very difficult because exposure-nya besar. It can be in the newspaper the next day, and I'm not kidding about that. It's a very difficult situation. Again, same circumstances happen. No one can go except me. That's funny. I'm at the time was only the first line supervisor. My manager cannot come. My president, vice president cannot come. Yet I have to represent the name of my company in Indonesia. I don't want to mention the name of the company. In front of the government. That's very difficult because it's two different things. That's where I pretty much use all the skills that I have, the the people skill side, the technical skill side, the everything, because it's something that the other side doesn't really want. And this is a very very important meeting, because in Indonesia this topic, I think you can guess, it's very critical because dikejar-kejar oleh DPR. DPR dikejar-kejar oleh Minister of the President. You have to be the one who have to deliver the message, be able to negotiate. And I praise God, because that's actually give you the opportunity. For every difficult things in life, there's actually the plus side of that. The good side of that is you are able to negotiate with government. They are happy from their perspective. We are able to meet what the government wants. At the same time, we are able to make sure that our company is also happy. And that's very difficult because you are representing ExxonMobil at the time. There's no lawyer. Ada satu lawyer sebenarnya, tapi akhirnya nggak jadi aja karena ternyata it's a distraction gitu. I consult with a lawyer and I say, no, I don't need you. I'll go on my own. Spoke with my president, because that's the level of danger that is going to have for the company. Speak to the president directly, only face to face, and basically tell this is what we have to do. There's nothing we can do about it. So, if I can summarize, if that day ExxonMobil does not have a good deal, I can assure you ExxonMobil will not be in Indonesia, because it's just very, very difficult, challenging time at the time. And puji Tuhan, thank God, we're able to make the government happy. They're able to get what they need from us, and the company is also happy not to give the company in the bad position as well. So at the end point, there was a win-win situation. Jadi dari sesuatu yang awalnya sangat berat, sangat negatif, it's very, very negative, very, very berat, very, very difficult, very, very heavy, dan basically keringat dingin gitu. Because you're going to meet the authority, the government authority, representing the company, and you're only by yourself. You don't have nobody to turn again. Kind of remind me my day when this Australia experience too. I was basically by myself again. But I know this needs to be done. We, as an Indonesian, we need to make sure the government is also happy, because we are operating in Indonesia, and at the same time, the ExxonMobil needs to make sure that the companies also can do the job. So thank God, from after that incident, dari sesuatu yang difficult, yang aku nggak suka, I try to avoid. Imagine, on this related, I try to avoid. You know what the company said? We have to postpone because Bradley is not in the office. So they actually wait until I get back from my vacation, and ini semua ada satu rangkaian sebenarnya. Jadi it's not just a one single meeting, tapi it's all the same, about the same topic lah, the same theme. I cannot disclose that because it's quite critical gitu. Tapi the end point adalah it's good. Company, the government is happy, the company is also happy, and I guess that's why I'm here, right? Because the company is pleased maybe with my performance, that maybe he needs a break. Okay, thank you.
I know you work with other people, with maybe some subordinates. I just saya cuma pertanyaan, how do you motivate other people?
How do you
motivate other people with your coworker or your boss? How do you motivate them?
Good. I like that question. Sebenarnya pertanyaan itu gampang-gampang susah gitu. The easiest part is actually if you demonstrate how you work, that's a very strong point that you can motivate them. Because back when I was in Indonesia, I was the supervisor. I have a few people reporting to me. They know I work hard. They know I push them very hard. They know that I do things on purpose, but they only know one thing. that whatever it is that I'm asking them to do is actually for their good things. When you can prove that is the case, you can use yourself as an example. When you've been been trusted by the company, when you see the president, of the company call you from far away, and how the president, the senior manager respect you, that's a good indication. And if your employees see that, your staff see that, that's a good indication. If your boss respect of what you do, then they need to respect you of what you ask them to do, right? Because it's something that you do to the boss that makes them respect out of you, and they can see that you work hard about doing that. And then when you tell them to work hard, it's easy for them, especially when they can also see the benefit of that, in terms of their, kenaikan pangkat atau salary atau gaji. In fact, one of the staff that I pushed the hardest is actually with me here. She's also on assignment. And at the time, there were many difficult times, but I know, company believe in this person that she can be very, very good. And I tell the company, I will only believe if she can also prove to me that she can meet all these expectations, demanding of the work and still, still doing well. And with time, she demonstrates that's the case, and she has that reward. And that's a strong statement, because now everybody wants to be like her, right? They see that happening. Oh, okay. I wanna be just like her. If she can make it, why not me? Because there's a proof, and they saw it. She worked very hard at the time. Her colleague was like asking, when are you gonna have lunch? Oh, nggak bisa. Pak Preli minta aku kerjain ini katanya gitu. And everybody say, forget about him. Forget about him. Don't worry. They say, no, this is important because Pak Terry, which is our boss, asked him to do this and he needs my help. And with time, she proved that she's the person. She get the reward. She's now here actually for different assignment than me, but she's on assignment. So good for her. Anak Tuhan juga loh.
Have you ever failed? And if you have, what did you learn from that failure, and how did you recover from it?
Okay, I like this question. Karena failure itu, it's how you look at it, right? If you can benefit from it, maybe that failure is a positive thing that ever happened to your life. So when you look at whole as an integrated, then you will actually say that's a turning point. For me, I guess the biggest failure was I chose aerospace engineering, and I didn't get a job in aerospace engineering. I get a job in oil and gas company. Why can I see that before I went to take my study? I don't know. Things happen, in life. Things also happen. So instead of me menyesali, trying to, asking, why this is thing happening to me? Why I cannot get a job? Why do I have to do this? Why I suddenly have nothing? Suddenly everything that I have is meaningless. And that's where actually God speaks to you that, hey, look, there's other opportunity. So even though I don't study petroleum, maybe because I study aerospace, technically, maybe that's I'm not saying easier. I'm saying that, hey, maybe that's a good thing. So I learned something, and now I learned something else. Something's actually good. It is when you look at failure, we cannot look itu as standalone or independent. At the time, yes, it may seem that it's independent. You're by yourself. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you learn from it, you learn that God wants you to do something else, perhaps, which I did. Because if I insist doing something aerospace, I have no job basically because I don't know what to do. I listen to God, and yeah, that's the way for me to go. Then that's what I've been successful at. So, if I ask, is that a failure? Probably at the time. But what you learn out of the failure to come back again and believe that everything was meant on purpose, that God wants you to train you to become maybe more patient, believe in Him more, so that in the future when you have difficulty things like I mentioned about where I have to go alone by myself to represent my company, it reminds me about this incident that 10 years ago I have nothing. And that's where I told myself, if God has been with me then, He will also be with me now. I don't know that, I'm scared, but I know He will be with me. Karena aku percaya sama Dia. That's it. Does it answer your question or? Okay.
Seperti tadi Pak Bri bilang, kita fokus ya. Our desire, kita fokus, kita kerja keras, tahu bahwa kita bekerja buat Tuhan, dan biasanya upahnya adalah kita memperoleh keberhasilan. We are different for our surrounding, for our peers. We become eye-catching with our management, so they give a first opportunity to us. But on the other hand, it could become an obstacle for our peers. Kadang-kadang orang jadi nggak suka tanpa kita sadari. Padahal kita nggak bermaksud untuk bersaing dengan mereka. Maybe kita bersaing dengan diri kita sendiri. Kita berusaha untuk memberikan yang terbaik for the company, for our God. Tapi tanpa kita sadari, kadang-kadang kita lupa. Kadang-kadang kita tanpa sadar kita tidak mempedulikan keluarga, atau kadang-kadang tanpa sadar kita nggak tahu sekeliling kita, we are di different atmosphere gitu loh. Dan itu kadang-kadang bisa menjadi obstacle, dan itu kadang-kadang kita alami. Saya pernah alami juga, saya percaya juga Pak Bradley pernah alami. Mungkin bisa share gimana ini yang hadapinya Pak.
I like that question. So far tonight it's been very difficult question, but kalau kita punya pengalaman sendiri, I guess it's easier to tell because it happened to you. So if it happened to Pak Devi, it also happened to me. I cannot control what people like about me or what they don't like about me. I cannot control that. But what I can control is that I can become their teammate. So when we have a review together, and I know that what they're doing is probably good, but can be better, and you help them, you tell them, you show them the way, bukan karena mencari it's not because you're looking for kesempatan atau simpati gitu, but you truly want them to become a better person themselves, and you show to them, no, this is how you should do. Then most of the time, when they see the benefit actually that, no wonder why he's the best, because he knows better things than me. And when you actually share your knowledge and make them a better person, that's when all the negative typically, after that, it's become the opposite. From one who may really, really hate you, from the one who actually dependent on you, because they see that they can become the person that they can ask for help. And over time, when you prove that's the case, itu akan menjadi kesaksian juga buat yang lain. And in fact, the very person that you help may become your strongest ally against the peer who still doesn't think the same thing about you. And it has happened to me. In fact, the one who doesn't really like me, if I can really share, was my own boss. Because that person, maybe because of the different, dia juga punya kandidatnya dia. That person, competing with me, and of course we are on the other side. I was backed by other person, but he was my boss. He was the vice president at the time. Basically, just doesn't like me because he knows that I'll probably ruin his plan. But because with time, I proved to him that I want to help his chosen one as well. And there were times where he was desperate too for help. He actually came to you and say, Bradley, I need your help. I need this to make it happen. Because I know, at the time, it's very easy for me to, okay, rasain lu, ya kan? Sebagai manusia, rasain, now, sekarang mata lu bisa kebuka gitu. No, instead of choosing that is the case, I decided, okay, let's make this thing happen. Let's make this thing good happen. And that person, from the other extreme, become the other extreme. Appreciate now for what I did, and ever since then, we continue to be good friends. And I can share you offline about more details about that. But the bottom line is, when we are facing with colleague or with people, with peer who doesn't think we're helping them, when we actually tell them or show them the way, we share them, what's better, and they see the benefit, that's where it will change their mindset. And for us, it's actually good. The more we share to people, the better we are to become, actually. We become a better person, become more knowledgeable. So, justru, that's the good opportunity to even expose who you are. That's all. I hope that.
Dengan Pak Bradley, dengan keadaan ekonomi sekarang ini, what kind of effect, ada efeknya nggak dengan perusahaan Exxon, dan nasihat apa yang bisa diberikan untuk the young generation to prepare?
Saya mohon maaf kalau if it's about ExxonMobil I cannot represent. Kami sudah di-train kalau sesuatu yang menyangkut the company punya pandangan itu kita tidak boleh melakukannya, apalagi dalam sesuatu yang direkam gitu. I cannot say, even offline pun I cannot. We have been trained that we are not capable of of representing company opinion. I'm willing to show here is from my personal perspective. But as soon as it switches into the company perspective, I have to say no, I cannot share that side. I'm sorry for that. Tapi about economic, about the generation, future generation yang akan datang, all I can say is everything is getting more competitive. Whether we like or not, everything is getting more competitive. Jadi apa yang harus dilakukan oleh anak-anak Tuhan, apalagi yang masih kuliah, is that they need to become the best of who they are. Karena not becoming the best of who they are also is a waste of God punya talent. Ya kan? Memang it's not it's not a straight correlation gitu. When they become the best of who they are, then they will get the best job, then they will have the best life. Sometimes it's not always like that. And I believe semua itulah anugerah Tuhan atau rahmat dari Tuhan gitu. He is the God, He is in control. Yang bisa kita lakukan adalah mempersiapkan diri kita sebaik mungkin. When we prepare ourselves the best of our ability, I believe God will do the rest. The only thing is we need to keep doing it. So, continue to believe in God, be the best of who we are, what we are, and try to do something out of it instead of do nothing. Karena do nothing, seperti tadi talenta yang dikatakan itu, dikasih dua keping emas, ada yang dikasih 4, ada yang dikasih 8, aku lupa berapa. Tapi ada yang waktu itu cuma dikasih 1 kan, harusnya itu 1 paling gampang. Malah yang 1 ini nggak melakukan anything about that, and that person was penalized, dihukum. So whatever our circumstances at the moment, we need to look beyond that. Gitu. I know it's easier to say than done, tapi what I can share is, kalau kita kembali baca Alkitab gitu, ada waktu di mana even Raja Daud pun yang powerful itu, ketika dia dikejar-kejar oleh anaknya, dan dia dalam desperation, dia juga hampir putus asa. Tapi what I remember the quote in the Bible is, ketika dia nggak tahu apapun yang dilakukan, ketika dia melihat masalah-masalah itu seperti gunung, tapi when he remember pencipta langit dan bumi itu jauh lebih besar, tantangan depan mata itu akhirnya jadi tidak berarti, dan itu menjadi kekuatan buat dia gitu. So what we are facing now, it may be difficult, but if we believe God is the creator of the heaven of the earth, He can bless us too. We need to be diligent to seek what is it that God wants during this difficult time. Don't give up. Basically, don't give up. Thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Prit. Ada lagi? Another question? Kita masih ada sedikit waktu sebelum kita tutup. Kalau tidak ada,